I know I said I wasn't going to do transfer specials for home, and I don't think this is going to be a transfer special. Judge it by how long the video is, but I definitely want to do a season review and let you know if we manage to secure Harris and Powell down to big boy proper contracts with salaries. It might be that it turns into a transfer special as the summer goes on. Who knows? One other thing before we get started. If you watch Non-League to Legend as well, you'll already know about this, but just a message for anyone who only watches this series. We've started our Christmas and holiday and festive season video schedule for the next couple of weeks. So for the next 2 weeks now, you're only going to be getting home episodes every other day. So you'll have one today. The next one, because Christmas Day gets in the way, it'll actually be Wednesday, and then it goes every other day from there. But it's just going to rotate. One day Non-League to Legend, one day home, rotate back and forth, apart from Christmas Day and New Year's Day, when there'll be standalone videos on those days as well. We'll be back to normal schedule on Monday the 7th of January, so don't worry, you'll be back to daily home episodes from there. But got to have a little bit of time off with the family over Christmas, or there won't be a family next Christmas. Hello and welcome to part 16 of It's Coming Home. I'm giving it an episode number because I'm still not sure if it's going to be a transfer special or whether it's just a season review. I don't know. It's certainly not going to be any matches on this video though, so if you're just here for the matches, you can come back for the next video. You are safe to proceed. And a lot of this stuff has probably already appeared on Twitter as well, but obviously without my sterling commentary over the top of it. You just got Errol, the social media guy, his thoughts on what's been going on. So we are going to kick things off by having a little bit of a season review on what has been a fantastic season for us here at home. And we're just going to go through the end of season awards, have a little look at the standout players from the squad. We already know who they are. And hopefully in the very near future, tie Powell and Harris down to proper contracts. That's got to be the plan. But this is our all-time best 11 as it stands right now. So Richie Brannigan still in goal. What's Richie Brannigan up to now? He's now at Longford Town. There you go. So he's gone to Ireland, and it looks like he's sat on the bench for Longford Town because he's not played any games for him. But he's our all-time best goalkeeper. McNally at left back, who we know left us just at the business end of the season. He was our captain, Rhys McNally, and has moved on to Folkestone Invicta, playing at a level that we're now going to be at next season. So, I mean, I'm tempted. Is he on a proper contract? Oh, he is on a proper contract with them, so we can't just poach him back again. Can't really blame him for leaving him in those circumstances. Brad Smith, he's available. Now, Brad Smith, I don't know if he's good enough to make the step up, but I loved Brad Smith when he was here before. I wonder how long he's been available for. When were you released, Brad Smith? He was released. We could have had him for the whole second half of the season. They literally poached him from us on the 1st of September and then let him go 3 months later. And then, Brad, where was the phone call, Brad? Why didn't you just come home? Literally. No pun. The pun was absolutely intended. Right. I mean, come back in on trial, Brad. Let's see if you come back with your tail between your legs. Let's have a little chat. Beeston and Twomasi, the rest of our back four. Dean Morris, obviously, he's going to be there forevermore, surely. Turnbull and Parkin in midfield. Turnbull, we did make an offer for. Because he was on the transfer list at Southend. Obviously, at age 22 and coming from the level he came from, there was they were never going to play him. We had a free transfer offer accepted for him, and he just refused to discuss terms, wasn't interested in coming home. So Jack Turnbull's dead to me. Parkin in midfield with him, and then Sheridan is now ahead of Dunn as our best attacking midfielder. I like that. And Powell and Harris as our strikers. On the bench we've got Yates, Okoye, Weeks, Rob Davis. What's Rob Davis up to now? Still at Carlton. And, I mean, to be fair, he's had a pretty decent season for Carlton. He's another one. Is he on a proper contract? He's out of contract very soon. Do you want to come and have a chat, Rob? See if Rob Davis wants to come and have a little chat as well. Seth Patrick, Rich de Groot and James Hayter. Let's see what Rich de Groot's up to. He's still at Sheffield. We played against him very recently. It makes me laugh a little bit that he's in our all-time best 11 when he's only played 17 games for us. It shows how difficult it's been for us to get a right back. But then he's just sat on the bench. Just draft another striker in or someone. And James Hayter, who is now the under-19s manager at Biggleswade. The under-18s manager at Biggleswade. What league are Biggleswade in? Biggleswade Town are the league. No, they're similar level to us. So he's an under-18s manager for a team at roughly our level. Now we've got some money, we could potentially bring him in as our under-18s manager. So our end-of-season awards: Mick Powell winning player of the season ahead of Anthony Harris, Dean Morris finishing third. It was always going to be those three. It was just a question of what order they were going to be in. Dean Morris winning goal of the season. Let's have a look at the goal of the season. You never thought you'd see another Dean Morris goal on the channel. You might have already, I don't know if we showed this one on a video at the time. It might be new Dean Morris content though, and of course it's one of his free kicks. He scored better free kicks than that. How is that our goal of the season? Harry Beasley, signing of the season. I think I'll agree with that. He was a very good goalkeeper. Came in at a time when we absolutely needed him. I'd potentially argue maybe Tramassi or Okoye or the attacking midfielder whose name I can't pronounce. Any of them were probably more useful signings, but the fans have spoken. And Mick Powell, of course, winning Young Player of the Season for, I mean, you can't really argue with that. That's a pretty decent season. I'll let him have that one. Season stats, what does this tell us? Top scorer was Mick Powell. Highest average rating, Seth Nana Twamasi. I mocked him when he arrived because he was never any good when he played for Posh years ago. But Posh were in League One at the time. There you go, as demonstrated there. And it was 10 years ago. 10 years later, playing 4-6 tiers lower than that. Suddenly he's a superstar. Particularly assist-wise, he's been very good. So, Nana, you were a good signing after all. Anthony Harris, most assists. Dean Morris, best pass completion. Mick Powell, most man of the match. Matt Parkin, most yellow cards. And most red cards. He's a thug. Matt Parkin is a thug. And he's apparently surplus to requirements as well now. It's quite interesting that a lot of these players are showing as surplus to requirements, but I think once Dean Morris moves on, our star ratings are all going to adjust because obviously we've got a League One quality player in Dean Morris. Once he leaves, it should the relative star values of everyone else should level out a little bit. That's what I'm hoping anyway, or else I have no idea who's going to be good enough to make the step up. So, season review, it was obviously a good season. Can't really argue with any of that. Dynamics is all good. We don't have any team leaders yet, but we've got Harris as highly influential and Powell as an influential player. Perhaps should have made Harris captain rather than Powell. And our end of season team meeting, I have no idea what we're supposed to do next season. Oh, starting to feel he deserves. Seth Patrick wants a better contract. Oh dear, there's lots of players who want better contracts. Where's Harris? He's happy. Where's Powell? Not even on there. Where he must be on there. Where's our captain? Is he just not turning up for meetings now? That's not a good sign. He's probably on. Oh no, he's there. Mick Powell. He's pleased as well. That's all right then. So going to next season, we're in a good. I genuinely don't know how good we're going to be next season. I don't know what to say. Congratulations on winning promotion. It's a great achievement. Win back. I mean, all of these are talking about back-to-back promotions. Should we be thinking in terms of? There's none that say let's go up and battle against relegation, is there? Well, let's say back-to-back promotions. Okay, we're going for back-to-back promotions apparently. We really need to offer these new contracts to our youngsters then, if that's the case. Pre-season start date, yeah, whatever. And there we have it. Andy Barter, you have a pat on the head. We'll be back momentarily, hopefully with some contract negotiations. Well, it looks like Rob Davis isn't any good anymore. 1.5 star current ability. He's age 33. He's had a good season, but that was at the division we've just left. So let's forget he existed. Brad Smith can come back in and we'll have a chat with him as well. But the thing we're all interested in is this stuff here. So these new contracts have now been signed, obviously with some pretty juicy appearance fees for a lot of these players. So these are good non-contract contracts. But the question is, are we going to be able to tie them down to proper contracts now? Oh, we are. Right. Now we just need to... Oh, we can get Mick Powell on a part-time contract. Forget 1 year, Mick. 2 years at least, sir. I don't know what to do. I don't know how much to offer him. Can we force him to have 2 years? Or is he not stupid? Oh, we can get him on a 2-year contract. Just got to check what we're offering him here. 370. I mean, we're going to be paying Mick Powell what our entire wage budget was in our first season. But Mick Powell has signed a proper contract. Anthony Harris. Come on, Anthony. Don't let me down, son. He's not actually much. But Mick signed it. He signed it just after you, Anthony. Oh, that's very sad. Shane Phillips. Right. So Mick Powell is going to be here for the next couple of years. Plus, if and when he leaves, if it's in the next 2 years, we'll get a fee for him. He's very well suited to League Two football, and we've just agreed a 2-year contract with him. But Anthony Harris, we just need to keep an eye on. When is it? Because Powell's 18 and Harris is 17. When's your birthday? 23rd. So his birthday. I'm shaking. I'm so sad. But Phillips, I'm not going to mess around with adding. We've got no money for stuff like this. So yeah, we're just going to keep offering Anthony Harris a contract, and hopefully we'll get him one. But Mick Powell signing, that's monumental. Brad Smith, also no longer good enough. Okay, that shows how far we've come. Well, I'm so sad. We'll keep an eye on Anthony Harris, and I guess we'll get started on some transfers. It seems insane that we're a newly promoted Tier 7 club who are £90,000 in debt, and we've just promised an 18-year-old 20 grand a year. That's exactly what we've done. Mick Powell has signed his contract. That, regardless of what else happens, is signing of the summer, because he's already a League Two quality player. He could let's say he could fire us into the conference. We could, if he has another season like last season, we could get promoted then and then promoted again. We could do back to back to back, all because of this guy, or we could sell him for lots of money now. Let's try again with Harris. We're just going to keep trying with Harris constantly. Oh, Anthony, please. Anthony, you are our one true hero. Well, the new season has ticked over. We're now officially a Northern Premier League side, so we have made it into the Northern Premier League. Anthony Harris still won't discuss a contract. We have signed a couple of players, though. It's kind of become a hybrid, not quite transfer special, but we are going to have a look at some transfers as we go through. 3 very good quality players on permanent contracts. Billy Collins is a 22-year-old goalkeeper. 3-star current ability, 4-star potential, better than Beasley, better than Yates. He's previously of Brighton and is potential to be a very good National League North-South goalkeeper in the future, leading player in our division, which is excellent for a goalkeeper. I don't know why I went so loud there. I'm so excited about having an excellent goalkeeper. Manny Parry is a 26-year-old centre-back, 3-star current ability, a little bit of extra potential to improve. Look at the value on this man. Nearly £20,000 worth of value. He's in on a contract for the season, better than anyone else that we've got at centre-back at the moment. Another one who's a leading player at this level. He's previously been playing in the National League for Boreham Wood. That's the quality of player we're able to sign. I don't understand why we're able to bring this quality of player in all of a sudden. Clearly our FA Cup exploits last year have done us a world of good on our reputation. And then Jake Wright, we're preparing potentially for life without Anthony Harris. We've got Mick Powell tied down, but obviously Anthony Harris, who's only on a non-contract, won't discuss a new contract. And Birmingham are interested in him on his wanted list. So Anthony Harris could be making his way out of the club. If he does, I think this guy could potentially end up being a better strike partner for Powell. Having him as a pressing forward alongside him rather than an advanced forward and a poacher together might work quite well. 3-star current ability, 3.5-star potential. He's another one who's a leading player at this level, which is exactly what we're looking for. He's not in the same league as Powell and Harris, but better than any other striker we have as an additional option. Plus, he can play out wide, he can play as an attacking midfielder as well. And he's another one who's been playing in the National League. So, I mean, he didn't ever score a lot of goals, but my plan for him would be for him to be the support striker to Powell. That's my thinking there. If we have a look at the makeup of the squad at the moment, we've obviously still got these 3 outstanding players, but the new players who've come in are all better than what we had as sort of the best of the rest. So we're making progress on that front. Anthony Harris still recently signed a new deal, not prepared. We're trying that every week. We will keep trying it. Finance-wise, with the new players who've come in, we're committed to £1,600 a week. Plus with I don't really know how we've spent that much this week, because I assumed it would be appearance fees, but we've not played any games. So we need to keep a little bit of an eye on this as we start to bring in more and more players. My thinking at the moment is to try and get a core 11 players who are here on proper contracts and then make up the rest of the squad with non-contract players, probably the players who were here already. Harris is really the only one that I'd probably look to tie down to a permanent contract of what we've already got. Media prediction-wise, The media think we're going to get promoted again. They're very positive about Holme. I don't know why. Sheffield, who came up with us, are favourites to be relegated. I know we had a good season, but I think it's the Dean Morris factor. If you have a look at the media Dream 11, Billy Collins, our new keeper, is the best goalkeeper in the division, which is good. Dean Morris is still in the team, so he's obviously going to move on. It'll be interesting to see how that changes in a week's time when he signs for Rangers. And Mick Powell is on there as the best striker in the division. So two best players in the division are Dean Morris and Mick Powell. Interestingly, Anthony Harris, nowhere to be seen on this key players list. Maybe he's not as good as we think he is, but he is still better than everyone we've got apart from Powell. So we still want to tie him down to a contract because ultimately he's still one of only two players on our favoured personnel. And Mick Powell's become an icon now, having become the first player to have a permanent full-time contract with us, and our captain as we got promoted. Is Mick Powell going to go on to become our first legend as we've got him here for the next couple of years? I think he's got a very good chance of doing exactly that. We're gonna roll on through now to the 1st of July, wait for Morris to leave, wait to see what difference that makes to this, and also to that pre-season preview thing, and then figure out what we're going to do with the rest of these transfers. I don't want to have a crazy summer for transfers, but then I am me, so there's a chance I still might. Well, Dean Morris has finally gone. He's very sad to see him gone. We have made an offer to try and loan him back, but obviously we can't pay much in the way of his wages. Rangers are reluctant to let him go because of his first team commitments for the club. We've offered to pay him £400 a week to bring him back on loan for the season. We'll see what comes of it. Don't hold your breath. The difference it's made to star ratings here, it's not massively significant because we've still got Mick Powell. Let's see if we can offer Anthony Harris a new contract. No, he's becoming a worry because of all of the bigger clubs that are interested in him, and they could just come in and swoop at any time. It's going to be very sad if that's how we end up losing him, but I think that might be how we end up losing him. Let's try with Shane Phillips as well. No, same situation. I don't know why Powell was so keen to sign and neither of those two are. It's baffling. As for the difference it's made to the season preview, we're now favourites to go up as champions. It's actually Manny Parry who's come into the Dream 11 to replace Morris. So we've still got as many players in there as we had before. Anthony Harris has now appeared on the key players list as well, even though we've got no guarantee that he's going to be here this season. So, yeah, we need to have a good year. Have we signed a couple of more players since I last showed you? Did we? I think we had. I don't think we had Josh Thacker. Josh Thacker's another centre-back who's come in. 2.5 star current ability, 4.5 star potential. Another one who's very well suited to this league, has the potential to get better and potentially come on a promotion trip with us. He was at Hull previously. Adam Parks has come in on loan from Barnet as our backup goalkeeper, so we can let Yates and Beasley leave, who are both on their way out the door probably. Harrison Davis is a right back who's come in, 3-star current ability, 5-star potential. Again, well suited to this league, can play in the league above in the future as well, hopefully. He was at Southampton previously. I like the fact that we've got a better calibre of youngster coming in now. And they're not all coming in on paid contracts either. So he's on an appearance fee of £150 an appearance. I don't want to have a squad, like I said before, I don't want to have a squad of 20 players who I'm paying £200 or £300 a week to, because we won't be able to afford to do it. This way, if we find an absolute superstar, we'll give them a proper salary if they want one. Otherwise, the majority of our youngsters are going to come in on non-contracts again and earn a contract. We might lose out on a few that way, but it seems more financially prudent. The nightmare is happening, folks. There's nothing we can do to stop this happening. He's changed his mind now. Now he's willing to consider remaining in the club, but he feels the club lacks the financial muscle to be able to meet his contract demands. What on earth are his contract demands going to be? We managed to tie Mick Powell down. Let me have a go, Anthony. Please, let me have a go. Oh, no. I'll get my director of football to try, but Anthony Harris looks like he's leaving. And that is just about the worst case scenario we could have had. At least we tied Mick Powell down, but I'm so very sad. I mean, fine, I'll request youth facilities, but I know we've got no money. Yeah, we've got no money. Oh, Anthony Harris is leaving. And we can't stop it. Well, that is very sad. Our all-time record appearance holder, our all-time top goal scorer, has gone to Shrewsbury. There's nothing we could do about it. He wouldn't discuss a contract with us. It's the pain of developing youngsters at this level. We've done very well to tie Mick Powell down, so I guess the fact that we should be able to keep him or at least command a fee for him when he goes is the one silver lining out of the three of them. But two have now gone, and Harris, again, similar to with Morris, we've tried to bring him back on loan. I don't think we're going to get anywhere because I think Shrewsbury are probably going to play him, which they should because he's awesome. It's very sad. We have continued to bring in players though. I just feel sad now. We've brought in a left back, Romany Critchlow Noble, to come in at left back. He's a good left back, previously of Huddersfield. Cameron Archer is another option as a striker, and to be honest, he could be the real silver lining of Anthony Harris leaving because this guy looks a bit special. He's in on a proper contract. He's not Mick Powell standards, not Anthony Harris standards yet, but he was previously at Aston Villa and looks like he's got goals in him, hopefully. And Alex Henderson is another option at centre-back, 18 years old, previously of Ipswich, in on a non-contract like a lot of the youngsters, but we are starting to build what's looking like a very good squad for this level. It's just a shame that those two gentlemen didn't want to be part of it. It's very sad. Let's have a look at what the season preview says now. We've lost another one of our stars. We're still favourites to go up, and we still have 1, 2, 3 players in the Media Dream 11. Have we got anyone else who's knocking around in the key players? I don't think we have. We need to continue to press on with signings. We've still got lots of money to spend when the right players come in. Very sad. Right, in more positive news, Mick Powell has done a Mick Powell again. Remember, we've got him signed on a proper 2-year contract. He would now be a good player for most League Two sides. We're just building a team around Mick Powell now. And he could still improve further. There's more Mick Powells in Mick Powell. I wish there was more Mick Powells. But Mick Powell's done a Mick Powell again, boys and girls. He's just, I mean, can we offer him a longer contract? 2 years isn't long enough. Ugh, that horrible red bar. I'm going to be seeing that in my nightmares forevermore. Remember when I said I didn't want to go nuts on transfers? It's the first day of the season. We have signed a lot more players. I'm not going to go into them all in loads of detail. If you want to see their individual profiles, they'll all have been on Twitter or are going to be on Twitter over the coming few days. Ian Ashton left. He's the other major player who's left the club. Obviously, as and when these players make it into the first team, as usual, we'll have a proper look at them. Adam Leathers, though, that's a name that he's ringing a lot of bells with me. Was he in my St Albans team in Non-League to Legend this year? Because if so, I'm quite happy with that signing. But we have signed a couple of these we'll pick out and have a little look at because I think they're going to be very, very good players. Josh Benson in particular, we've got him tied down to a proper contract. He looks like he's going to be a very good option for us in central midfield, formerly of Arsenal and Burnley. I think that's the kind of calibre of player we want to be bringing in. Who else have we got? Leathers we've already looked at. There was another one in here as well I can't remember who it was. They'll emerge at some point. Like I say, if you want to see them in more detail, you can have a look on the Twitter for that. But this is what the board are expecting from us this year. They're expecting a playoff finish, the first round of the FA Cup, first round of the FA Trophy, and reaching the final of the ridiculously named Integradudsen League Cup. The media, I think, are still looking at us to win the league. So season preview, we are heavy favourites. We're evens to win the title, which is insane, really. We do have an extra player in the Media Dream 11, though. We've now got 4 players in this Dream 11, so perhaps that isn't as insane as you'd think. Collins is the keeper, Parry at the back. Our left back, Romany Critchlow Noble, is the best left back in the division, and of course Mick Powell in there as striker and best player in the Northern Premier League. Slight panic and alarm around Mick Powell. He has got the dreaded wanted symbol next to him. Swindon are interested in him. Obviously, the difference between Mick Powell and Harris and Morris going before him is that he's under a proper contract with us for the next 2 years. So obviously, if he really, really digs his heels in and decides he wants to leave, we're going to have to let him leave. But we can command a fee and add a sell on, and that is massively important. So Mick Powell won't get away for free the way Morris and Harris both did. All of which brings us to the end of this weird hybrid season review, sort of a transfer special thing. Transfer special. Don't have the words anymore. Let me know down in the comments how we should do these transfer specials, or if we should do them at all for Home, because Home is a little bit different to Non-League to Legend, because obviously Non-League to Legend, we've always done them, and also we don't have the Twitter, whereas with Home we've obviously got the Twitter, so you're seeing the transfers as they happen come through on the Twitter. Do we need to have these transfer special episodes, or should we just do a more sort of tight, normal length season review episode and then get straight into the next season without all of the faffing about with transfers? Let me know down in the comments. We will have a little look at the team we're going to play for the first day of the new season, though. It does have quite a familiar look around it. We're going to be sticking with our familiar tactic initially, although we are training one of those and one of those for if we need them. And you'll have seen on the Twitter that a lot of the players we've signed are wide players. So we've got quite a few options to play out on the wings if we do need to do that. How is just switching between those tactics made such a mess of that? Oh my word. Right, hold on. We're nearly there. I think this is what it was. That looks right. So the only tweak really is pressing forward rather than attacking forward. We mentioned that when we signed Jake Wright, that was the reason he was brought in, and now he gets to show us that we don't need to miss Anthony Harris. A lot of pressure on Mick Powell. We've got our superstar new signings in though: Collins, Parry, Critchlow, Noble, all the best at what they do in their division. Thacker's another new signing at the back. Tomasi keeps his place at right back for now. Shane Phillips is the only defensive midfielder we've got at the club at the moment as a natural, and we've got other players who can do it, but we do have a bit of a problem with Shane Phillips picks up an injury, so we need to be monitoring that situation and also monitoring this situation because he's only on a non-contract. Not interested yet in, luckily I don't think he'd go to any of those teams. I don't think any of them are much bigger than us, but he won't discuss a proper contract yet. So one of the reasons for training the flat 4-4-2, which I won't click on because it will mess the team up again, is that we might find ourselves in a situation when we don't have a defensive midfielder. We weren't really able to find an outstanding attacking midfielder, so Di Girolamo is still the best that we've got, and I don't know. It says he's a good player for this league, but he's only a 2-star player. I think some of the wingers we've brought in are better quality than him. So if we lose Phillips, I think we'd probably sacrifice Di Girolamo, bring in a right winger and a left winger and just do a flat 4-4-2 and see how that works out for a little while. Failing that, if this doesn't work at this level or if he doesn't perform at this level but we keep Phillips, that's when we think, okay, Wright didn't really get the job done. Let's focus on getting the ball to Powell, and that's where the wide men come in on a 4-3-3. So there is some thinking that's gone on there. But we're going to start off with the diamond because it's served us well so far, and we do still have the players to be able to do it at the moment. Interestingly, you get 7 substitutes in the Northern Premier League. We didn't in Northern Premier League Division 1 East, and I know you don't in the Conference North, which is the next division up either. So we'll enjoy having 7 subs while we can, but we do have several more seasons of 5 substitutes to come when we go up to the Conference North, and I think the Conference National is 5 subs as well. So I don't know why we've got 7 subs at this level, but I'm not going to argue with it. You'll see this match in the first game, in the first episode of the new season, though, which, let me just check the calendar. That is on Boxing Day, on Wednesday the 26th. So we've got Non-League to Legend coming up tomorrow. My normal sort of Christmas Day episode that's a bit of a review of the year coming out on Christmas Day, and then Home will be back on Wednesday the 26th. And remember, we're doing every other day between Home and Non-League to Legend for a couple of weeks over Christmas while the kids are off school. Hopefully you have enjoyed this this is a weird video. I don't know if I like this video or not. Let me know if you have enjoyed it. Make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos, and thank you very much for watching.